Okay, Wednesday here. It is Longshore and McKnight here, presented by our friends at Bud Light and Yellowhammer News. Beautiful day out there. Not as much humidity in the air. Slightly cooler temperatures. Is they doing this just because week one of college football starts, well, tomorrow night, I guess?
Oh, it was yesterday I had to mow grass in the afternoon. Excellent grass mowing weather. Normally I don't do it on opening game week, but had to get it done. It was beautiful, and it's going to stay that way today, maybe into the weekend, and I am all about it. It is Longshore and McKnight. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. Known each other for 28 years and worked together for 28 years. You know the drill with us. All of you, I got to tell you, John, we get the sense we log on. Gurn Jr., gets us on in reserve. We sometimes get a chance to talk a little bit for, the countdown starts and everything. Does it ever surprise you that sometimes when we log on like 15 minutes ahead of the show, that there's already guys on our chat line and they've already got them? Dennis Mitchell's asking us about Rampage Jackson's son beating up somebody, and it's, man, these guys are sitting on G waiting on O.
Yeah, they really are, Barry. I mean, they are firing up, ready to go. Football season is in the air. You can feel it and love it when the chat line is already hopping before we even officially come on the air. So we appreciate that, fellas. Dennis Mitchell, I got some Troy questions, some wrestling comments. Theotis, of course, is hopping on today. Theotis, I hate to break it to you, but due to a scheduling conflict, Josh cannot be on with us today. He's got several meetings that he just can't reschedule. And, of course, our Phoenix Physical Therapy segment is at the bottom of the second hour. So we'll have to take a pass and then hook up with Josh next week, Theotis. So I hope that doesn't mess your day up.
Missing the Moneyline Magician on the opening week. I know Theotis is messed up on that. There's also, again, not
maybe we
our
can
home.
Squeeze him in tomorrow, Friday. We'll see what we can do for you, Theotis.
Maybe, I don't hope that people don't take it this way, but we have, I want to say, made an impact on the sporting and cultural world around us. Show continues to grow. John has mentioned just about once a show, which is the goal. There are so many different platforms and media upon which you can watch us and listen to us. We've been quoted on other shows. We've been quoted on other media. We've had, we've been getting around. Our what do they say? Our footprint is getting larger and larger with every show, and we take great responsibility with that. I mean, we're proud of it. John's proud of it. I'm proud of it. Toot, toot, our own horn. But with great exposure, John, comes great responsibility.
Sure, yes.
And, John a lot of times speaks off the cuff. Sometimes we do our best work whenever we're just riffing, and people say, man, I love it when you guys, get in. You guys are funny. You guys know what you're talking about. You're insightful. Sometimes you can be confrontational. I like all that stuff. But there is great responsibility with that. And there was evidence of that yesterday. I don't think there's any doubt that Greg Byrne listens to this show, John.
Oh, yeah. No
the
doubt.
Alabama athletics director.
Yeah, sure.
If you missed it, or if you want
GA's listening and then running down the hall and going, Mr. Byrne, guess what they just said? Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday, I have no doubt it was Mr. Byrne. John Longshore was talking about non-conference Power 4 scheduling in the future at Alabama. He says, keep Notre Dame above all else. Mm-hmm. Greg says, slow down. Keep Notre Dame. Ohio State, hang on to them. Don't do anything to screw up Ohio State. Okay, don't screw up Ohio State. Is there anyone he says get rid of? Yeah, he says West Virginia's got to go.
Got to go.
And then boom. John said this was going to happen, right? I mean, check the tape. Boom. Yesterday afternoon, Alabama announces that their home and home against West Virginia has gone away.
Yeah, out.
Done. Again, John doesn't take the gravity of his words, the weight of his opinions. He doesn't take that lightly. Sometimes he wields it like a weapon, but it's always done with, a great deal of responsibility.
Well, out, done. And who wants to go to Morgantown anyway? So yeah, it's a win-win for everybody involved. I understand West Virginia was not hesitant one bit about this move. As a matter of fact, their head football coach said something about it back in the spring, possibly happening. So I think everybody's happy with that. East Carolina's the substitute. I guess you got to put somebody in there. I guess this is now when we'll start hearing, why didn't they call up Troy? We don't need to get into that discussion again.
All right. Well,
that's not going to happen.
John says East Carolina, quickly, top of your head, name me one fact that you know about East Carolina football.
Patrick Fain died.
There you go. Yep. Anything else?
No, I don't. But that there's a North and South Carolina. Where's East Carolina? I've always wondered about that.
Is it Eastern South Carolina or is it Eastern North Carolina? Yeah. There is a Western Carolina. That's in North Carolina? A friend of mine goes there.
Yep.
East Carolina instead of West Virginia. The question is begged, therefore, John. West Virginia out.
Yeah.
All of the others, and they've scheduled out pretty well. As Grover Dill said in The Christmas Story, who's next?
Who is next? Well, first, before I get to that, people are wondering, okay, so no West Virginia. They pick up East Carolina for 2026. I think South Florida's on the schedule. Florida State, they're your three. Well, actually, they're your two, I guess. Because of the 9 games. Somebody else is going to get dropped.
UT Martin is on this schedule in 2028.
Yeah. With that, there again, as we get down the pecking order, but if you got Florida State and East Carolina next year, and you got 9 conference games, you got to factor in one more. So I guess South Florida, Florida State, and East Carolina will be the 3 for Alabama in 2026. In 2027, Ohio State is on the schedule.
And that's it.
As far as I know, I'm sure there's probably some directional school in there as well. But West Virginia was supposed to come to Tuscaloosa in 27 because Alabama's scheduled to be in Columbus in 2027. So somebody's got to fill that in. But here's where it's getting interesting, Barry. In 2028 and 2029, Alabama has Oklahoma State on their schedule.
They open that home and away in Stillwater.
If I'm in Stillwater, I'd be expecting a phone call sometime today. I don't know who the athletic director is in Stillwater, but sit by your phone because it's going to ring. You guys out, done. I wondered why they even scheduled them in the first place. Who in the hell wants to play Oklahoma State? I mean, give me a break.
Will there even be an apology? Will there be a check? Contractually, there's got to be a check in the mail, right?
Well, it is my understanding that there's a clause in the contract that if the SEC changes their scheduling format and expands it to 9 games, there is an out that they can exercise.
Boom.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State. I mean, you don't even get to keep the flowers or the corsage. You don't even get to keep the baby's breath around your wrist or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure
date is you have been dropped for maybe not homecoming queen, but somebody on the homecoming court.
Yeah, I'm sure Northeast Oklahoma A&T probably has an opening. Pick them up. I don't even know if that's a school or not, but
it is not.
It sounds pretty good.
It's not.
So you got Ohio State in 2027 in Columbus. Then Ohio State comes back in 28. Oklahoma State, you're out. 29, they're at Notre Dame. Oklahoma State was coming to Tuscaloosa. Never going to happen. In 2030, Notre Dame comes to Tuscaloosa, but allegedly so does Georgia Tech. Hate it for you. You're out.
No, you don't.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. In 31, Tech comes to Tuscaloosa, but Bama goes to Boston College. Greggy, don't get rid of the BC game. Whatever
Play it in Foxborough.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't get rid of it. And the cool thing about it is, I guess, there's kind of a gap there. So they're at BC in 31, but BC doesn't come to Tuscaloosa till 34. So you got a little wiggle room right there. You axe Virginia Tech. Who wants to play the Hokies anyway? And who wants to go to Blacksburg in 34?
People got to play other people. Everybody's got to come up with good. Here's what can happen, okay? The news came out yesterday that the Alabama-West Virginia series has been canceled. Just canceled. Not postponed. Not you're not delayed. Canceled. Done. They are not. Here's what cannot happen. I do not want to see this. Auburn do not pick up West Virginia.
Ooh.
Auburn has got one after next year when Auburn hosts Baylor.
Yeah.
After 2026, Auburn has got one Power 5 home and away scheduled. One. And that's Miami in 2029 and 2030. So Auburn ought to be able to pick up some deals, right?
You would think.
Ought to be able to, because some of the other schools, like John said, Alabama ain't the only one. They're not going to be the only one. Some other schools are going to be dropping some of those way ahead of time scheduled home and aways. Auburn can do a little value shopping, right? But what you don't do, number one, you don't get West Virginia at all. Number two, you please do not get West Virginia and make the announcement within the next 3 months.
Yeah, Barry,
otherwise my co-host would be on it like.
Well, Auburn's already played West Virginia 10, 15 years ago. There was a home and home with West Virginia. Been there, done that. And based on Alabama dropping West Virginia yesterday, you don't want to pick them up, Barry. That's kind of like, picking up a used dude wipe. More on that later. That's
kind of a gross reference, but yeah, you don't want to have it like, Alabama walking down the street, they flick the stogie onto the sidewalk and walk away, and in the background you see Auburn grabbing that stogie and looking at it,
lighting it up.
Remember
those bums that would come by the loading dock at our old business, and they scurry through the ashtray to look for butts that they could light back up? You don't want to do that.
It's very sad.
So here's where I've got a little pickle, though, Barry. In 32-33, they got Arizona and Minnesota. Look, from what I'm hearing that's coming out of the state of Minnesota, I don't think any Alabamian wants to go up there. Flaming liberals, woke, DEI. They had some Democratic convention up there this past weekend, and Tampon Tim was up there mouthing off again like he did back during the campaign.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, I say drop Minnesota. I guess keep Arizona. I don't think those two schools have ever played before, so maybe that'd be kind of cool. Head out to the desert. But, Greg, you might want to give Southern Cal a call. I'm just saying, just giving you an idea. But, the Trojans wouldn't be a bad fit for some of these games you got to get rid of and add back into the schedule. I know what people are saying. What's up with Boston College? I saw Alabama lose to Boston College in back-to-back seasons. They owe them. Doug Flutie.
This is what it's shaping up to be. And, normally in the past I'd dismiss it. But number one, these goofy things are happening left and right that John's asking for. And number two, Greg Byrne has already shown that he's listening. He's taking notes.
Well,
this looks like in the world of Longshore, every SEC game, all 9 of them are going to be against evidently the top 9 teams in the SEC. And every non-conference game, Ohio State, USC, Notre Dame, Penn State, Clem, you know them. So, and if you go 9-4 back-to-back years with that incredibly hard schedule that John wants,
out.
He's lighting the torch.
Yeah.
He's grabbing the pitchfork, and he is storming the castle. Get him out.
Yeah. I'll send an Uber over there to pick you up because, look, that's what you're getting paid to do. I mean, you got to win these games. I don't like this mentality. Well, we might lose. Well, you might win too. And, Barry, not only with the West Virginia news, but you're right about it. I mean, we talked with Senator Tuberville last Friday, boom, all over the media about him sending the troops to Montgomery and Birmingham if he's elected governor. Crime still's out of control in those two cities. And lo and behold, Cracker Barrel's going back to their old logo. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I've gained fame on the road with Troy Athletics, especially like with baseball, when we get to sit, and spread out a little bit over a road weekend series. Give me a Subway, give me a Cracker Barrel, and I'm fine. And a Waffle House, and I'm fine. Cracker Barrel, I got, who cares about the logo? I never even really paid it. It's an old white guy on the side of a barrel, and they're going back to that.
Okay,
I like having the hacksaw on the ceiling. I like having the horse harness there. I like having the old rusty iron seat to a tractor nailed to the wall.
Yes.
Don't be going all nouveau riche on us here and cleaning that up. That's all. Make sure the food's good.
That woman ought to get canned. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, you don't change your image like that. I will say this, Barry. I can't get my wife to go to a Cracker Barrel. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about Cracker Barrels. She just won't go, but I'm going to get her over there. Speaking of her side of the family, the brother-in-law text this morning, getting a little smart aleck today. Michigan, don't want to play them again? Whoa, wait a minute. Wow.
They're cheaters,
Yeah, they are. They're cheaters. Michigan cheats. I've actually been by their stadium, the big house. It's okay. They wouldn't be tops on my list. But I wouldn't dismiss it. Okay, all right, home and away with Michigan, that's okay. How about Auburn making that call? I mean, Auburn played them in a Sugar Bowl game that they should have won the national championship off of Al Del Greco's foot.
That's the thing. Auburn will get some deals. I'm not going to say bargains. They'll get some deals with other schools jettisoning the high-profile Power Fours. Auburn, West Virginia, don't make that move, but Auburn, Michigan, absolutely get that done. Well, lots to get to on the program today. We continue our series with Phoenix Physical Therapy. We're going to talk with Brett Vincent, our guy out at the Phoenix Physical Therapy location in Wetumpka, Alabama, plus CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News as well. We get underway Wednesday of game week. There is college football.
Yes.
Tomorrow. Amazing. Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
On the basketball court, the soccer pitch, or even the golf course, your crew brings their best not just for the win, but for that post-game celebration. When victory tastes like Michelob Ultra, it's worth every drop of sweat. And if you don't win, you'll still get the beer. It's just on you. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Okay, 20 minutes past the hour on this Wednesday, Bear. I guess before we can move on, I got a couple of things on the top of my head, but I got to just put them back in the back seat because Dennis says, please acknowledge my comments. Thank you. We're going to get Barry to turn his mic on there because I can't read lips.
Yep. Dennis, it's kind of hard for us to when you get 4 of them on before we even get on the air. Okay, first of all, John and Barry, what did you think of Rampage Jackson's son beating up a pro wrestler he put in the hospital? Dennis, I got to know more.
Yeah, you got to help me with that.
I got to know all of it. I don't know anything about it. Dennis says he is ready for Troy to have a good year in the Sun Belt. I agree with that. I think Trojans are going to be good. Open up this weekend at home against Nichols.
I don't know who these knuckleheads were that said Troy was finishing 7th in the Western Division.
Goodness gracious.
Who are these people?
They look good to me. I mean, I've seen a lot of championship football. I'm not predicting a championship, but I mean, it looks familiar anyway, what he's done. And Dennis also says this, it sucks Alabama not playing West Virginia.
Why? Why does it suck? I think it sucks that they were going to play them. I'm pretty happy about that.
That was a Saban thing, wasn't it? I always thought it was that he wanted to do. Yeah.
Barry, Alabama played West Virginia. I guess it was over in the old Georgia Dome before they blew it up and built Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Right.
You know what I remember about that? I went to the game with Gurn Sr. Gurn Jr. might have been with us too, now that I think about it.
What?
Yeah, I think so. And then my son, this game had to be years ago because he had to stand up in the seat the whole game for him to be able to see. It wasn't a bench. It was like, chair. There's chair,
right.
So he had to flip the seat down and stand on it the whole game to be able to see the action on the field. I thought, man, that kind of sucks. But he was probably about 10 at the time, maybe even a little bit younger than that. He's 17, about to be 18. I'm not sure how long ago it was that they played West Virginia, but it seems like it was more than 10 years ago. So that sounds about right. So they've done that. They played West Virginia. It's over and done with. So it's time to move on, Dennis. No big deal. It's okay. They're going to find somebody else that I think you're going to love them playing. And, hey, we acknowledge, hey, man, Dennis, you keep them coming. We'll acknowledge. I can promise you that.
Yeah, may not acknowledge all of them because they come pretty quickly, but we'll do our best as we do with all of you out there. Well, what's going on over on the plains? Nothing on the future schedule front. 2 days remaining. 2 days remaining. The day after tomorrow, the Auburn Tigers take the field at McLean Stadium in Waco, Texas, to take on Baylor. Brian Matthews, who I love, I've known Brian even before he started covering Auburn for auburnsports.com, known him for decades. And I know Jeff from Billingsley calls him Baghdad Brian just because Jeff is Jeff. Brian tells it like it is. Did you notice yesterday he's talking with fans and fans are posting on the bunker and everything saying, golly, I think we're going to be really good. Look out for a championship. We're going to shock the world. And Brian said he's thinking, I think they're going to be better. This is Brian paraphrasing. I think they're going to be better. I don't know about any championships or anything. How many of you are shameless, dyed-in-the-wool, bada-getta obs that are like, man, I don't care what anybody says. Number 10 is coming this year. I don't know
if I'd go that far.
Maybe the playoff? Is that
possibly
more realistic?
Barry, I think we'll know in the first 5 games if they're going to make the playoff. That's even before they play Georgia, I believe. I think Georgia's their 6th game. I'll have to look at the schedule. So their first 5 games, we'll know if they'll make the playoff or not. And it starts Friday night.
3 of those 5 are against Power 4 opponents on the road.
Correct. Oh. Yeah, they are. Maybe I'm a little more bullish on Auburn than maybe some other people. I've been saying all summer, I'm kind of leaning 9-3. I'm feeling more that way. I could certainly see 8-4, but I see somewhere between those two, 9-3, 8-4. I don't see Auburn winning 10 games. I don't see them losing 5. So 8-4, 9-3 is kind of where I got them going this year. Don't think, 9-3, maybe an outside chance to get into the playoff. It depends on who. I think that'll have a lot to do with it. But I'm looking forward with all these games, Barry. I mean, all summer long. And I hate to beat this drum again. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm ready to see it. I'm tired of hearing about how great practice in the offseason's been in Tuscaloosa. Tired of hearing about depth on the offensive line at Auburn and Jackson Arnold's finally the piece of the puzzle that they needed. Great. I want to see them in action. And luckily, I got a satellite dish where I'm going to be Friday night, so I don't have to worry about not being able to watch it on Fox, which is kind of crazy. Hope they get that problem squared away before kickoff. There could be a lot of angry Auburn people that don't make it to Waco if that is the case. But I got to tell you, Barry, I'm jealous. I guess that's the best way to put it. I'm not jealous.
That's a terrible emotion to have.
It really is. You shouldn't be jealous.
No.
But I'm telling you, when I saw the news break about the marketing agreement between Jackson Arnold and Dude Wipes, I just went, wow.
It's not just that. Jackson Arnold is now a marketing spokesman. This goes back a couple of years. Dude Wipes is basically flushable baby wipes, except it's got it smells like high karate or something.
Yeah. Oh, but Barry, the cool chill with the eucalyptus.
Here we go.
Oh,
Here
beautiful.
We go.
The best.
Yeah, Dawn has test driven them already. So anyway, Dude Wipes is for, I guess anybody can use them. Women, kids, all that stuff. Flushable wipes.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Right here in the USA, it's an American company out of Chicago. And I don't know what happened, but when they first came out, John had friends of his.
Oh, yeah.
Associates, trusted mentors.
Yeah.
Who said, oh, Dude Wipes, game changer.
No doubt about it.
So John said, hey, send me a case.
I can't believe I didn't think of something like that, Barry.
I mean, it's baby wipes.
Well, and that's where I'm
getting flush. Yeah.
Because we've all, we've had children. Having children is so wonderful. It's great. And one of the things that I loved when my children were young and infants were the baby wipes at the changing table. I'm thinking, hey, I can use these too. I'm thinking, why didn't I think of a more manly adult version of this back in the day? I could have been those guys. I'm thinking, come on, knucklehead.
Yeah. Back early in the career, I'm thinking, hey, hey, Milton, do you smell baby powder? Is that what?
Yeah.
What is that? So now I know, and you can flush them, which you don't.
So they're beautiful. I got to tell you this.
All you do is the same thing. I don't care what they do. It's the same thing, except they make them smell like Aqua Velva or High Karate
and the packaging. I mean, I tell you, some of the little nuances and little jokes that they put on the packaging, like when you open it up, it says "Let it rip," and you pull the tab back. Which is pretty good, I think.
Here's the deal. John Dent says, JL, did you autograph those Dude Wipes to help Auburn raise more NIL? No, but Auburn, that's what they're doing. Jackson Arnold is he's got an NIL deal. I don't know how much it's for. Maybe I'll get to the bottom of it.
There you go.
After a hard game, picking myself up off the turf, after another sack, it is good to be able to get back to the locker room where I exclusively use Dude Wipes.
Yeah. Well, I think it would be better after a meal at Hong Kong buffet number 2. I'm sure glad that I've got Dude Wipes waiting on me. Now, that would probably be something a little bit better. But I did see in the press release, Barry, and these people are very creative. I got to give them their due. They said they're going to war on toilet paper. Get it? War Eagle, TP in the trees. So they're real good about their marketing there. And who's the guy that dressed up in the dude white costume, the mascot? Did you see that? Standing next to Jackson Arnold?
See, here's the deal. Jackson Arnold, whatever it is, again, the Dude Wipes logo, their slogan is best clean, pants down, instead of hands down. Anyway, and you can get them medicated, you can get them fragrance free, you can get them to go. The Dude Wipes singles.
Sure.
You can get Dude Wipes gear. You've got mint chilled. I think that's the one.
That's my favorite. Oh yeah, with eucalyptus.
I'm just saying this. They got 5 different kinds.
Yep.
Fragrance free, mint chill,
the best.
Herbal relief, shea butter smooth,
a little greasy,
and something called Dingle Bells that has already been sold out. I mean, that's already sold out. I guess that's just for Christmas or something like that.
It's in a Christmas package. It's green and red.
So anyway, Jackson Arnold's got Auburn University, which unfortunately, evidently, I never thought about it in this context, around American culture and maybe worldwide, Auburn University is the largest entity associated with toilet paper.
True.
Toilet paper, when a lot of people, John Dent, Bob from Pike Road, when they think Auburn, they think toilet paper. Auburn, probably more. I can't think of anything else that's really associated with toilet paper more than Auburn is.
I can't either.
So Dude Wipes, or do we have it? Are you okay? I thought this was assistant bring. Dude Wipes says we are going to go all in with the worldwide entity most associated with toilet paper. I don't think they're going to ask Auburn fans to throw Dude Wipes in the trees.
No, can't do it. Won't work.
But but what it is, here's the one. Dude Wipes is going to tell, we can convert Auburn fan. Why not you give us a try?
Barry, if I'm not mistaken, former Auburn golfer Jason Duffner had it on his bag. Had Dude Wipes, had the logo. They were a sponsor of Duffner. It's an Auburn connection. Which is also
kind of a good last name to associate with Dude Wipes too. But
now I know there's a joke out there somewhere. I'm waiting for somebody to throw it up on the chat line or somebody somewhere. I'm waiting for it. I know it's coming, but look, it's a great product. Gerd Jr.'s working to try to get them to be a sponsor of this program. I don't know why they wouldn't. I'm not looking for free product. I'll take it, but it's a good, and Barry, the travel size. I mean, you go out of the country. I was in Mexico this summer. Whoo, man, those things came in handy. I just got to tell you. It's awesome. All right. How about this? I did not know this, Barry. Barry's frozen. He's just in disbelief. He can't believe it. Auburn plays Baylor Friday night. There's been a little talk about, can you watch it on Fox, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. I did not realize that Baylor has an overall winning record against Auburn. They have played 4 times. Barry's in disbelief. His face is frozen. He cannot believe it. Baylor has a 2-1-1 advantage over Auburn in football. I did not know that. And I saw that in the game notes. I'm trying to remember the last time these two teams played. We're going to tell you when it was. Will it have any bearing on what happens Friday night? No, certainly not. Now, Robbie from Greenville might tell us it will, but I don't believe so. But it is kind of an interesting stat about these two teams only playing 4 times. I know Alabama's played Baylor a couple of times. They played them in a Cotton Bowl game. They played them in Birmingham many, many years ago when Coach Bryant was still alive. But anyway, we'll talk a little bit about that. But it's been a lot going on in the first hour so far. Let's talk about if Alabama's going to drop other teams. Who do they need to drop? West Virginia was the first victim yesterday. Who's next on the chopping block? I'm predicting Oklahoma State. Dude Wipes and Jackson Arnold have reached an agreement. I got to tell you, a little envious of that one. I wish I'd have gotten in on that. That's a great marketing campaign. Baylor and Auburn Friday, Alabama and Florida State on Saturday, and a host of other big games as well. All right, let's take our bottom, well, a little past the bottom of the hour, so let's go ahead and take that break. We'll get back at it. Barry will hook back in with us from his Troy studios. It is Wednesday with Longshore and McKnight in association with our friends at Yellowhammer News. Check us out at yellowhammernews.com. You can watch video content there. There's also a write-up about the show each and every day. You can also check us out at YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Tunes. There are so many ways to check us out. And whether you watch us live each and every weekday morning or you watch us on your schedule, we are there for you. Hit that chat line. Hit that email inbox, longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. Back with more right after this. Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the bush light go? In your stomach. Bush. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
Okay, back at it here on this Wednesday. Barry will join us here momentarily. Yeah. The chat line, clearly Barry is using the dude wipes. I don't know. We'll find out when he gets back. Also, Bill from Baltimore. This is a good one, Bill. Any mention of dude wipes from Philip Marshall? Only time will tell. Yep, I've seen no mention of that yet, Bill. We will see what comes of that. Mark also says that he's got the antenna hooked up to watch the Auburn game if they can't get this Fox YouTube thing squared away by kickoff. I got to think they're going to get that worked out. I really do. I mean, don't they kind of hold us hostage and, make us sweat it out? And then at the last minute, they come to this agreement and everybody can watch the game and whatnot. I know that was a deal with ESPN. I'm trying to think what I watch on Fox. Unless it's football, I'm not watching any other Fox programming. Fox News is totally separate. Now, if they did something with Fox News, I might have a problem with that. Now, I'll tell you, I know I would. But Fox regular, football, that's about all I watch on it. And mainly it's Sundays because I don't watch a lot of Fox college football. Obviously, I focus more on the SEC than I do the Big Ten, but okay, hopefully they get, or the Big 12 or whatever network or conference that they broadcast, but I'm going to be okay with that. We'll see how that plays out. All right, also, this is very important, and we're very excited about it. You're going to hear a lot about this during the season, and it's a great promotion we've got going on with our good friends at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry. They're at Pepper Tree on Vaughan Road, right there next to Chappie's Deli. Very excited about this. Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry and Longshore and McKnight are giving you the opportunity to win a 1-carat lab-grown diamond valued at $500. Now, how are you going to do it? Simple. Each and every week, we want you to pick the exact score in the Auburn and Alabama football games. And if you pick the exact scores, you're winning that $500 lab-grown diamond. If multiple entries have the correct score, there will be a draw-off with all the correct entries. It's limited to one person per household per game. You can enter any time beginning Monday morning until the kickoff of the first game. This week, obviously, it would be Auburn because they're kicking off on Friday night. Got to have your entries in by Friday at 7. If they're both playing on Saturday at 2:30, they got to be in by 2:30 on Saturday. We can timestamp it. We know where we know when you send it, so don't worry about it. We got that covered. Don't try to get over on us either, or that could cost you dearly. You'll enter by going to Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com. Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com. Very easy. In the subject line, just put diamond. That lets us know you're wanting to enter. Now, if one team has a bye week, we'll explain that once that comes up. We'll just pick one game that week. All right, so if you're a weekly winner, you'll go into the end of the year drawing for the national championship. And if you pick the correct score in the national championship game, you will win a 1-carat natural diamond valued at $3,000. How about that? $3,000. It's Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry Pick the Score contest. They're located at 8163 Vaughan Road in Peppertree, adjacent to Chappie's Deli. Open 7 days a week. Go by and see them. Check them out at marguerites.com. At Marguerites, they make it. They really make it. So make sure you get in on that. Just email us. We've gotten a lot of emails already with the predictions. We want as many as we can get. We want to give these diamonds away. So make sure you are a part of that. More on the from the chat line. John, I mentioned Hong Kong buffet number 2. John says, JL, have you been to Hong Kong buffet? 4-hour time. You have fourth time you've. I can't read what you're writing here, John. Yes, I have been. I believe that that place is closed. It was in Auburn, right there on the main drag, coming off the interstate in a shopping center. But I don't. Barry told me they closed it, which after the time I went, I'm surprised it was even open. But I don't believe it's in Auburn anymore. I don't believe that's the case. I don't think that's that's not going to happen. So, but if it is, let me know because I might give them another try. All right, so West Virginia, as we talked about earlier when we came on the program, is out. Not surprised. With the 9-game conference schedule coming in 26, there's a lot of things I think both Auburn and Alabama fans across the SEC have got to start thinking about. They've got to start considering. A, who are your 3 permanent opponents going to be? We talked about this earlier in the week. Obviously, with Alabama, it's going to be Auburn and Tennessee. So who's the third? With Auburn, obviously, it's going to be Alabama and Georgia. Who's the third going to be? And I think it varies between the decision makers, the athletic directors, the coaches, the people on the staff are going to have some say-so of who they would like to have as that third opponent. But who would the fans like to see? In talking to people, we're hearing that, Auburn might get Vanderbilt as their third permanent. Alabama might get Mississippi State. Is that who you really want to see? Is that who you really want to be your third opponent every year? Personally, I do not. As we talked about yesterday, these teams are going to come up in rotation far sooner than they ever have. Auburn's going to play Florida. They're going to play Tennessee because of the 4-year rotation, home and away. But do you really want Vanderbilt every year? And I know some people are thinking, well, that's an easier win, gives us an easier game. I mean, we got Georgia and Alabama. Don't we need a breather? Do you? And I know some schedules will not be balanced. They won't be even. I mean, if Alabama keeps LSU, there's going to be some other teams in this league that probably have Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Mississippi State. That doesn't bother me. And I'm not an athletic director. I'm sure it bothers them. They worry about it. Coaches probably can worry about it too. But I think the days of going undefeated are over. You might have it happen once in a blue moon, but undefeated seasons with a 9-game conference schedule, with a Power 5 non-conference opponent, with transfers. I mean, teams are able to get really good players. I think college football probably is as level as it ever has been. I mean, you look back to the 70s and 80s and even into the 90s and 2000s, they were dominant teams. You knew you could probably pick 5 or 6 teams you knew were going to be in the national championship race year in and year out. Those same teams are still in it. I just think there are more teams that are a part of it and have a chance due to transfers and things like that. So I think you just got to prepare yourself that you might drop a game or two in the regular season, but you still can make the playoffs. And we heard last week that one of the things that they're going to be looking at now is strength of schedule. Alabama felt like their strength of schedule last year should have gotten them in the playoff. I totally disagreed and said it on this program. If you lose as a double-digit favorite, not once, but twice, you shouldn't go to the playoff. And ultimately, that loss in Norman, Oklahoma is what got them. But strength of schedule, if you lose some of those games to very strong opposition, I don't think that's going to hurt you as much as playing a weak schedule like some of these, like Indiana is trying to do. I mean, you look at some of these schedules around the country, it's laughable. And the SEC realizes you have got to be able to put some big-time opposition on your schedule. It's got to happen. And I know waking up on Sunday morning after a loss is not fun, but, you're over it by the next Saturday. Yeah, you're ready to go. So I'm not as worked up about, I mean, if you're an Alabama fan, do you really not want to play LSU every year? I mean, Alabama and LSU have played every year since I can remember. They have always been rivals. And I know Alabama's got a really good record against them. I think I saw they've won 14 of the last 16 games. That kind of surprised me. But it's still a long series that has gone back. It has a really long, illustrious history. Mississippi State, what history does Alabama have with Mississippi State? State beat them in Jackson back in 1980 after Alabama had been on this long, lengthy winning streak, back-to-back national champions. And Mississippi State was the first team to beat them because Bama fumbled inside the 5 going in for the winning touchdown. But Mississippi State, those two schools are as close as any other in the league. So what? Who cares? I don't care that Starkville's close to Tuscaloosa. Big deal. You ever driven to Starkville from Tuscaloosa? It ain't great. Might be the shortest distance, but it's not a great ride. So I don't get that one. I'd rather play Ole Miss instead of State. And there again, I'm not dumping on State. I know it sounds like I am, but I just am not in favor of that. Not in favor of that. Auburn, I'm really not in favor of Vanderbilt either. I mean, what is the history of Auburn and Vanderbilt? Can somebody help me out with that? college game day broadcast from Nashville one year when Auburn went up there to play. I think they got beat 14-13. Vanderbilt beat them last year in Jordan-Hare. I mean, I can't tell you anything else beside the Auburn, anything else about the Auburn-Vanderbilt so-called rivalry. I don't get it. But I don't know. One athletic director in this state took my advice yesterday. Maybe John Cohen and Greg Byrne will also take a little of my advice and say, fellas, that's not who we need is that one of our permanent opponents from 26 and beyond. Hey, I think I see Barry there in the green room. I think he's got some technical difficulties worked out there. I don't know if they had a internet outage or something. Everything okay down there in Troy?
Yeah, the outage, nothing was working. I couldn't.
Oh, boy.
Internet was out. My cell was out. Any of that. So,
man,
I don't know what the deal is, but hopefully I'm on for a little bit.
Well, I just went on a tirade, Barry, about scheduling. Probably. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my. Yeah. Hard to imagine, really.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I did.
Well,
yeah.
I'll play along if that really was the case. Then
I just really, in a nutshell, Barry, I just don't get this talk about Bama's got to play Mississippi State and Auburn's got to play Vandy. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm
somebody's got to
leading the line.
Somebody has to.
I get it. Yep.
You all right. 3 permanent.
Yep.
3 permanent. 2 of them we know. For Auburn, it's Alabama, Georgia. For Alabama, it's Auburn, Tennessee. It's that third one, right? It's that third one. And my thought is you shouldn't get to pick. Alabama shouldn't get to pick. They've got 2. All they need to do is be a good partner for the Southeastern Conference. Take into account their brethren within the league who pay their dues just as regularly as Alabama does. And the league say, all right, I know that we are just a member in equal standing with everybody else in this conference. All of the other 15 and us are all the same.
Or are they?
You just yes. If there's a hill I'm prepared to die on for you Alabama fans out there, you are just like everybody else in this league. Maybe a little bit more popular to the networks. Alabama, if I'm you, the class things to do, the proper thing to do, the thing to do to show that you're a good sport about all of this is to say, look, tell you what, you tell us who the third permanent opponent is.
Well,
you just let us know. We're fortunate to have Auburn. We're fortunate to have Tennessee. You guys just go ahead.
Well, I'll say this. I think when the doors are closed and they're sitting around a boardroom and all this touchy-feely, hey, fellas, we're all equal. We're all exactly the same. That's when I hit the gavel and go, no, we're not. Look, sit over there at the end of the table. The only reason you're here is to pick up a check that we basically earned for you. So just grab your money and get on out of here and keep your mouth shut. Now, this is who we're playing, and this is who you're going to play. That's how it goes down when the doors are closed, because we all know that there's a handful of teams in this league that make the league what it is, and the networks gravitate to them week in and week out. I'm not going to offend anybody and hurt anybody's feelings by telling you who they are and who the have-nots are. I think we all know that, but that's how it goes down in the business world.
The business world. Now I'm really, get me off the air again so I can projectile vomit. I hate it when he does that. Mr. Moneybags Longshore over here dictating this is how it is with the big boys and all that kind of stuff. Here's the real deal. You were just like, and I do think John would be, it's hard to be a better person because I like John a lot. He's a great guy and all that. But I think he could be a little bit more well-adjusted if he had grown up. His family had taken him to games, every home game for Slippery Rock in Division II in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. He would have had a better worldview. Instead, he grew up going to Alabama games, got a degree eventually from Alabama, and it's like, I'm telling you, there are a few blue bloods out here. The rest of you guys,
yeah,
I'm not saying you can go away, but I ain't paying attention to you. If you were any good, then you would force yourself into my consciousness. You guys, you just do this. You sit over the top, shut up and take your check. He wouldn't feel that way if he wasn't one of those guys,
Well,
it'd be an entirely different thing.
Yeah, well, I've seen bumper stickers, by the grace of God, I was born in the South or whatever it might be. Okay, I'm fortunate that, I grew up going to a lot of games with some great competition on the field. I did get my share of games against Mississippi Southern and VPI, as Coach Bryant used to call them when I was a little.
That's because those were kiddie games that you got to cut rate.
Yeah. So
you
Pops took me to those games.
That's why Dad says, "Hey." Yeah.
So I went to a lot of those top games, but I had my share of Southern Cals and Notre Dames and Nebraskas and Washingtons back in the day when I was younger in the 70s. So, yeah, I get it. But, look, the networks don't want Bama and Mississippi State and Auburn and Vanderbilt. Yeah, I get it. Vandy's got to play somebody. But I don't think Vandy wants to play Auburn every year. I don't think Mississippi State wants to play Alabama every year. We got to look at it from their point of view. See, I'm looking out for them, Barry.
Doesn't anybody? Nobody wants to play with. We've got footballs. Our field is lined, and we mow it regularly. We'll have some fans. It's a nice town. Nobody wants to.
We'll ask CJ Duncan this. He's going to join us in a moment, but I'm going to take a stab at Vandy.
Yep.
Obviously, Vandy's got to play Tennessee every year. Tennessee, whatever. But I'm going to say Vandy would probably like to get Kentucky and probably Mississippi State on their schedule if they could. Mississippi State's got to play Ole Miss. They probably like to maybe back that up with Kentucky and Vanderbilt.
Do you see him? This is John. This is John trying to generate some emotion for that. This is John saying, how did I get myself into this predicament on camera with me trying to figure out Vanderbilt's 3 common opponents, because I don't care. Yeah, what am I doing sitting here in front of all of these people saying, here's what Vanderbilt probably, he ain't thought about it before he went on the air. He doesn't care about it now that he's on the air, and he's sitting here thinking, oh, how do I get out of this? Vanderbilt, they can play.
I'll play them. Let's see. Okay. Yeah.
Whatever.
Really. But I'll be interested to see what a former player thinks about that. He'll join us here in a moment. CJ Duncan, former Vanderbilt player, superstar there in Nashville, part of the Yellowhammer team. Looking forward to joining him. Brent Vincent from Phoenix Physical Therapy going to join us at the bottom of hour number 2. And Theotis, we're going to see if we can squeeze the money line magician in maybe tomorrow. We're going to work around his schedule. Had a lot going on today. It's a business world out there. He's got to take care of business. We certainly understand that. And we got a little business we need to take care of as well before CJ Duncan joins us.
Yeah, because that's what you do in the real world, in the business world.
That's
Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
Okay, back at it here on this Wednesday. It is top of hour number 2, and our man CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, joining us here. It is week 1 of college football. Man, oh, wow, we got CJ turning up. We're going to flip his camera around. Woo, there we go.
There we go.
Awesome. How you doing?
Let's see if we can get him. We may have to get a better signal from him.
Because I can't. We can see him, but we can't get the audio there. We'll get that corrected
in just a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But I know he's excited, Barry, because of the opening week of college football. Vanderbilt, Charleston. Is it Charleston Southern? Is that CSU?
Yeah, that's Charleston Southern for Vanderbilt. There's several good ones. Like we said before, this opening week is opening week. You know what I mean? Opening weekend is going to be good. Starting, I don't know. Will John on Friday? Will he watch the Duke's Mayo Classic Friday at 6?
Maybe
on ESPNU.
Possibly.
App State versus Charlotte.
Depends on if I have any action on it.
Yeah.
That's real quick, Barry. John tells me I got to check it out. New Chinese buffet in Tuscaloosa? No way. Man.
Endless sushi, hibachi, and more. Need to be a new show.
College students will flock over that. There's our man, CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News. I can hear him.
Yep.
We're going to flip there. We go. Hey, CJ, how you doing?
Hey, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties here.
That's okay. That's okay. We're a little seasick now, but we're good. It's all good. Opening week, the practices leading up to the first game of the year, you're tired of hitting each other. You've mentioned that before. Is there a different vibe? Game week?
Definitely a different vibe. You're excited. Guys are flying around at practice. They're excited. They're thinking about the crowds. They're thinking about their families coming to the game. You're just excited to get another year going. Everybody in the country's got a lot of hope. They think there's opportunity there for them to have a really good year. Guys are thinking about individual stats and potential accolades, but also as a team, you're just excited to experience those SEC crowds, man. That's what you do all the hard work for in the summer.
Yeah, of course, Vanderbilt opened up against Charleston Southern on a Saturday there in Nashville. To your knowledge, CJ, is the stadium complete? Is it ready to go, or are they still kind of doing some hammering and nailing there to get it all wrapped up?
To my knowledge, that the stadium is in good shape. I'm not sure about the outside of the stadium. That's the part that got a little difficult last year. It was hard to get into the game because of all the construction, and you could only come in through one entrance kind of thing. And they took away the Star Walk, which was, kind of our special thing, where you have to walk across the street to get into the stadium kind of thing. And that's where the fans and the kids can come and shake hands with the players prior to the game as they walk into the stadium. I hope that we have that back. That's kind of our special thing. Each stadium has something special that comes with it pregame, and that's ours. So I hope that's back for the fans.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the games. It seems as though the two keynote games on Saturday, 11 o'clock in the morning, Texas and Ohio State. Any thoughts about that one, CJ?
You know what? I'm just excited to watch good football. I really am. There's a lot of anticipation on my end to see what these two new quarterbacks are going to do. I think they're both very talented, but both teams have not completely different rosters, but the rosters look very different than they did last year when they met earlier this year, actually in January or February, whenever that was. These are different rosters. So I think both teams are going to be figuring it out. Don't be surprised if this game starts a little slow, if it's a defensive game initially. But I do like Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns in this game.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one, noon on Saturday. Hopefully.
And how many times do we see a number one overall team go into a place as the underdog? You don't see that very often.
No.
So I think that Texas is going in with a chip on their shoulder. We're number one, but yet you still don't believe in us. So I think that plays right into Texas' hand.
I am with you on that one. Looking forward to that one on Saturday, to say the least. Couple of let's backtrack a little bit. Then let's go to Friday night. Your thoughts about Auburn going into Waco? They were a favorite, then they were an underdog. Today they're back as a favorite on the road. Baylor's probably thinking, "Whoa, wait a minute, we're the home team, but an underdog." Your thoughts about Auburn? I mean, it's a big year for Hugh Freeze and this team, and they've made a lot of changes.
It scares me. I don't like these, random day of the week games. Just like the NFL when guys play on Thursday. I don't like those. It messes up your routine. I think it helps that it's the first game of the year, kind of before you get into the routine of things and understand exactly what a game week looks like. But you got to think these guys are starting their week on Sunday now, and they're traveling a pretty good distance. But I know the Auburn fan base is going to show up in Texas. At the end of the day, like we've talked about in the past, the quarterback position is what's going to matter. I think roster for roster, Auburn's a better team. But man, if you're going in there thinking that you could play 2 or 3 guys, that's not a way to start your season. I would not be comfortable as a receiver not knowing who's throwing the ball, because everybody's ball comes out just a little bit different.
Right. DJ Durkin was saying he may rotate 34 players in on defense. I understand doing that against South Alabama or somebody like that, just to give some guys, some reps and see how they are. But you're going 3 deep at every position against Baylor. I don't know that there are 34 guys that deserve, a lot of reps defensively.
Even the best teams, they have a rotation, which is fine, but it kind of feels like nobody separated themselves during camp, and the coaches aren't really sure who our guys are, which is also very concerning. You kind of want to have your starting 11 on defense, and then of course, be able to rotate 3 or 4 defensive linemen, but everybody else you would hope are pretty steady and stable in their positions. So I understand they've got a lot of great athletes at Auburn, but it's tough to think that 34 different guys are going to play in a big game like this one.
All right, Alabama going down to Tallahassee. Alabama went on the road twice last year, CJ, as a double-digit favorite, got beat straight up. They're taking on a Florida State team that only won 2 games last year. There's been a lot of changes in Tallahassee with players and personnel. Year 2 for Kalen DeBoer. He's kind of got that first-year thing out of the way. This team ought to know what he's expecting out of him. What are you expecting Saturday afternoon?
You know what? I like a quiet Alabama team, and I feel like they've been very quiet. That means they're just focused on ball, right? And they're focused on what they need to do to get better. And there's been a lot of chatter out of Florida State. I think Florida State will be better than a 2-win team, but I have learned the hard way. When I was at Vanderbilt, one of our guys did a little talking, and, I think they almost put up 50 points on us. So I fear for Florida State. A lot of that chatter is just nothing but motivation. I'm sure there are quotes all over that locker room about how those guys are going to handle them, and they're going to come out with a lot of, with a lot of poise, but also excitement, and they're on a mission. That's what I feel about it.
I like a quiet Alabama team too. I got a lot of friends who like quiet Alabama fans, but you can't have everything, I guess. What should we look for? I mean, if you're looking for telltale signs other than, the actual production from Ty Simpson, what are you going to be looking for to see early from him?
Just a clean game. Clean game. You recruit for this reason. You want an Alabama quarterback to just manage the offense, no pre-snap penalties, and take care of the ball. If you do those type of things, I think you've got the athletes to take care of the rest. But I wouldn't force any throws. I wouldn't scramble and throw back across my body. You don't have to be Superman. You just need to do your job at a very high level, make sure that guys are in the position they need to be in, and just play good ball. I think if you play a clean, brand of ball, then I think Alabama's going to be okay.
You hear from time to time about a sophomore slump. Do you expect Ryan Williams of Alabama to have a sophomore slump?
No, I don't necessarily believe in that. I think there's a lot that plays into that at times. Whether the team gets worse or the guy didn't take his offseason very seriously, he's not training. But a guy like Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith and even Cam Coleman at Auburn, I think those guys, they've got big goals, right? And they're still proving themselves in a sense because they want to get to the next level. I would imagine a guy like him at a university like Alabama, they've been locked in, they've been dialed in. He's been working on his craft. He's been working with Ty Simpson all summer, even in the spring. I don't see that happening. Will he get more attention? Of course, and that can probably take away from some of his catches. But I still expect him to be the explosive receiver that we saw last year.
I love games like this where I don't have any sort of a rooting interest or anything like that. It's going to be a high-level game. LSU and Clemson, Saturday night, and at Clemson. That's one of those games to me. I don't give, a hoot who wins that game. I just think it's going to be a really good game, CJ.
I think it could be the most competitive game of the weekend, to be honest with you. I think both of these teams have a real opportunity to be playoff teams. They are very they being Clemson are very talented on the defense side of the ball, but then you have Nussmeier, who's also a potential Heisman candidate. So we're going to see what he's really made of in this game. We've heard a lot about the receiving core at LSU, but I think the biggest thing right now is to not fall in love with that. Take the opportunity at the beginning of the game to kind of establish the run game, and that'll open things up for him. But I could see this being a really, really competitive game that comes down to the last few drives in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think so too. CJ, as you can imagine, we've talked a lot about this over the last week since it was announced that the SEC is going to 9 conference games next year, and every team in the league will have 3 common opponents every year, and they'll rotate with the other teams in the league home and away over a 4-year time period. Who should Vanderbilt's 3 permanent SEC opponents be? Who would you like to see?
Ole Miss, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Georgia. I think those are the 3 teams that should be pretty consistent for Vanderbilt. Tennessee and Ole Miss, there was kind of an established, so-called rivalry with those teams back when I was in school. Ole Miss and Vanderbilt, they have the Memphis connection. A lot of recruiting goes down between Vanderbilt and Ole Miss when it comes to the Memphis territory. Tennessee for obvious reasons. And, Georgia, it's a team that we have history with as well, back when it was a West versus East kind of division situation. So I think those 3 teams should be consistent, and we'll rotate the rest. And it's pretty cool that they're able to do that because, as a player, you'll probably have an opportunity to play at every stadium in the SEC at some point.
My final question is this. With your time in the NFL, this cut down day, a lot of it was yesterday to get down to 53. Some really interesting names got cut. Hunter Renfrow, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, of course, Shiloh Sanders and stuff. And it occurs to me, and I'd love your insight into this, a lot of times those cuts aren't necessarily talent. A lot of those are money, right?
It's money, it's numbers, and sometimes they cut you in order to put you on the practice squad, right? So we'll kind of see a lot of that play out over the next few days to a week. But yeah, it comes down to, sometimes if you're a safety, but the team's had some injuries at tight end, they need another tight end to come in and they need your spot. So it's very tough to make a 53-man roster. It's impressive even when guys are just able to make it through camp. All these guys are very talented. All these guys are getting paid for a reason. But sometimes it doesn't have to do with who you are personally as a player, but really just the situation that you're in. And sometimes it's good to get cut. Maybe you have the opportunity to go to another team that values you a little bit more and actually needs your services.
Yeah, going to be interesting how that all plays out throughout the league, to say the least. Certainly, I'm excited about it. I just, wow, high school football, you got college, you got the NFL. I don't know if you looked at the schedule, CJ, but there's a little inner city battle taking place over at your old stomping grounds Friday night as the Trojans of St. James are taking on the Eagles of MA. Always a big battle when those two teams get together.
Yeah, it's always a big battle, and especially as of recent years, back when I was playing, it wasn't much of a battle, but, we like the guys over at MA. But, back in my day, it was St. James Trinity. That was the big game, but I've heard MA's done great things to turn their program around. They've got a lot of good athletes. And, right now, St. James, we're trying to figure out ourselves. We've got an interim coach. Larry Ware is a great guy, great coach, knows ball very well, state of Alabama legend. But it takes time when a program turns over like that. It takes time to kind of get your footing, establish a culture, and get the right guys in the program. And so, I'm not sure how Friday's going to turn out, but I do believe in Larry Ware, and I think St. James should give him an opportunity to get his guys in there, establish his culture, and get things back to how they used to be.
Always great to visit with you, CJ. Thanks so much for the time. We look forward to a lot of football this weekend, and we'll recap a bunch of it next week with you.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. I've been watching a ton of high school games. I'm ready for the college to get going.
Yeah.
But it's always a pleasure seeing you guys, and this is my favorite time of year. I cannot wait for this weekend.
There you go. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, CJ. We appreciate it. We'll talk next week. CJ Duncan, Yellow Hammer News. Barry, we had him from every different angle today. I mean, we got all the angles with CJ.
We'll take him.
I love it.
We'll take him however we can get him. Heck, we get guys on all the time. We don't have any video at all. So, hey, CJ, we're going to get him wherever we can. Had this one from who was it? Yeah, from John Dent. He said, how often has Vandy played LSU over the years? I like what CJ said. The three permanent opponents, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Georgia. I get it. Georgia's tough. Georgia's got to play somebody too. Sure. That makes a lot of sense. John was asking about LSU. They have played about 33 times.
Yeah.
LSU leads at 25-7-1, and LSU has won 10 games in a row in the series.
To me, LSU should play Alabama, Texas A&M, and Arkansas. That would be the three for LSU in my mind.
See, I would think Texas and Florida and Arkansas. Arkansas is a big rival. Yeah, at least with Arkansas. I would go Texas LSU if it was me. Last time Vanderbilt beat LSU, 1990 in Nashville.
Well, I got to think with Texas, Barry, Texas is going to play A&M and Oklahoma. Then you got to throw somebody else in there. You're going to throw Arkansas in there. If Arkansas has to play LSU, it's kind of tough. I'd hate to be the guy that had to put it all up on a board and go, wait a minute, that's not fair, and that's overloaded here, and that's too weak.
No. See, John would much rather be the guy who's sitting there, with an old fashioned in a glass and a cigar, and he's looking up. No. That one down there. This is a whiteboard, right? Go ahead and erase that one. John would instead of being the guy to try to formulate all that, John's going to be the one to shoot holes in it. Alabama against who? Seriously.
Well, I got to come clean, Barry. What I would probably say is All right, this school gets them, that school gets this one, and I don't care what you do with the rest of the league.
That's
go
exactly.
for it.
I tell you what, you got those little like a felt board, and you got the little felt thing with a Vanderbilt and with John, just throw them up there and see where they stick. Just throw them up there, straighten them out, and we'll go with that. For sure. That's the difference. When we come back, the Phantoms Daily Dog, plus our buddy Brett Pinson from Phoenix Physical Therapy going to check in with us as well. Love that guy. Still to come with Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-diddle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River Region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Grab some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information. Okay, back at it here, about 22 minutes past the hour. Theotis, I got good news for you, buddy. Josh is joining us tomorrow at 8:30, so the Moneyline Magician will join us then. We also had another request earlier, and I appreciate that because it actually had slipped my mind. Somebody asked about Mike Griffith joining us from Dog Nation and the AJC. He possibly can join us tomorrow as well, maybe right when we kick the show off. We'll let you know as we get closer to that. And, of course, Barry, on Friday, we are going to be just jam-packed at Stivers Ford here in Montgomery.
Right.
Obviously, Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. I assume I've not seen any contractual deals, but I believe the Phantoms 4 will be back on Friday.
Yep.
We'll get into that. Ralph Michaels of Wager Talk and the Goal Sheet. So we got a lot going on over the next couple of days.
Robbie, who has not been on with us yet today, hadn't woken up yet. He asks this every day. Notice there's one thing that John has not said is going to be on Friday. That's all I'm telling you. But what there is a chance, for a pick'em of sorts.
Oh, yeah.
Or a diamond.
Barry, this is exciting news.
Yep.
Yep, Marguerite's exquisite jewelry in association with Longshore McKnight. Going to give you an opportunity to win a 1-carat lab-grown diamond valued at $500. All you got to do is pick the score in the Auburn and Alabama games. Yep, pick the exact score, and you will win that $500 lab-grown diamond. If we have multiple winners, we'll go and do we'll draw for that. Limit one entry per person, per household, per game. Got to have them in before kickoff of the first game of the week. You'll send your entries into longshoremcknight@gmail.com. That's longshoremcknight@gmail.com. And Barry, all weekly winners go into a drawing at the end of the year for the national championship game. You'll have an opportunity to pick that score to win a $3,000 natural cut diamond from Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry. They are located at 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree, adjacent to Chappie's Deli, open 7 days a week. I'm very excited about this. We want to give away some diamonds this fall.
I love it. And we're talking about high quality diamonds from an extraordinary jeweler. They will take care of you. It's going to be great. As a matter of fact, John, I'm looking right now at Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com. Our buddy Mark Cumby has already
he was in early.
The LSU Mark.
And Mark also, Barry, sent us a picture of some brisket that he cooked on his smoker, on his grill. Ooh. We're waiting for him to bring some of that to us.
Nice. Also, Mark sent us a link from Clay Travis. And the link says, today, Marco Rubio asked Donald Trump if he can issue an executive order to stop people from getting married on Saturdays during college football season. That needs to be a thing. I think, for many years, the only reason why you had a fax machine, why people were still buying them, was for National Signing Day. Fax men, you don't have to do that anymore. I still think a lot of the reasons why people buy pocket radios is a lot of people listen to our games at Troy on the radio as they're watching, so you can kind of tell everything that's going on. And pocket radios with a little earpiece that snakes in there, very popular at Saturday weddings in the fall.
Used them.
The immortal time that John was a groomsman in a buddy of his wedding.
Yep.
And, they're up there and they're facing the preacher, and you can see John in his tuxedo with his back to the congregation, and all of a sudden they say, do you, blankety blank, take this man? All of a sudden you see John, needed that cover. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
It is that. It was Alabama, Tennessee, Barry.
Who gets married on the
third Saturday in October? The thought process was the game was going to be in the afternoon, and they were married in the evening. The game was at night. Television, even way back then, made a change, and they wanted it at night in prime time. So the wedding was already scheduled, had to go on. I was one of the groomsmen. You're right about that. So I went Secret Service. I put the radio in my back pocket, snaked the wire up through the back of my tuck shirt into the back here. I'm helping these little old ladies down the aisle to their seat. They're probably son. I didn't even probably acknowledge them because I'm listening to the game. I was probably very rude.
Yeah.
That.
Come on, Paul Kennedy. Be good to me, man. Come on. Here we go.
But I just happened to be the last groomsman to leave after the wedding service was over, and we were, recessing down the aisle, as they say.
Right.
And my bride, I'll never forget, because my bridesmaid was my wife when we went down. I thought that was kind of neat.
That is
good. As we are making our move to walk down, I looked over and I thought, has anybody noticed that I've got this in my earpiece? And Carl Stegall was the priest that officiated the wedding. He looked
Wonderful
at me,
guy.
He said, "What's the score?" And I went, Bama just picked up a fumble.
Yeah. We're driving. Yeah. That kind of a deal. So, that happens. We appreciate all of you at Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com. That's how you get involved in our Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry. Pick them. Starting tomorrow, 5 straight days. 5 straight days of college football. John can't wait. Neither can the Phantom for the Phantom's Daily Dog.
So I guess the Daily Dog on Fridays, Barry, will be more than just a dog. It'll be, I'm not saying it's going to be dogs either. The Phantom's Daily Dog is something that we initiated back in the spring. Thought it'd be kind of fun. It's been pretty profitable as well. I will admit. But on Fridays, we'll go back to our, normal Phantom 4. We'll give you 4 winners against the spread. Could be favorites, could be dogs, could be totals. Who knows?
Could be anything.
Could be anything. We're just looking for winners.
That's right.
So, Barry, you've heard the saying, Mama said there'd be days like this.
Yeah, I think it was the Shirelles.
We went back to the well last night, down to Miami, Marlins and the Braves.
Second straight day.
I mean, Barry, everything's looking great.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in good shape here. Game's tied. We're going into the 9th. We're going to win it in the bottom of the 9th. I got to tell you, I wasn't expecting Atlanta to put 9 runs on the board in the top of the 9th inning.
You look at the final score, you say, hey, did the Phantom get, and you say, 11-2. They got, that was it was 2-2 into the 9th. And then 9 runs in the 9th inning. And by that time, John's like, just I don't care if you score 50 runs in the
doesn't
9th
matter.
inning. Just a heck with you.
I mean, once it got to like 4 or 5, I went, this one's over.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be kidding me. And I mean, I don't know who this relief pitcher is for the Marlins, but I hope he got traded today. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Cut that guy.
Yeah,
I mean, how do you give up 9 runs in the top of the 9th? Unbelievable. But Barry, we're moving on. We're over that.
It's another day.
It's another day, and this one is a late start. So just get ready. I probably won't know the outcome till tomorrow morning. That's okay. We're going to go out to San Francisco. When the lights go out.
In the city,
yeah. We're going to San Francisco. The Giants are hosting the Chicago Cubs. The Giants are a home underdog. They're plus 104. 104, just a slight dog. But we like San Francisco tonight hosting the Chicago Cubs in a game, Barry, that doesn't start till 8:45 Central Time.
Oh, yeah. I'm not staying up for that one.
No.
I got to get my rest. We got college football tomorrow.
You got that right. So we're going to go with that route, and that's the deal. So we're going to bounce back with the Giants plus 104 against the Cubs tonight.
That's the route we go on the Phantoms Daily Dog. We'll take the route to Wetumpka, Alabama in a moment. Our buddy Brent Vinson will join us from Phoenix Physical Therapy when Longshore and McKnight continues after this timeout in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond at Riverbank and Trust. Locations throughout the river region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. River Bank and Trust. Okay, back at it here, about 27 minutes to the top of the hour. And I'm in Brent Benson from Phoenix Physical Therapy. He's up in the Wetumpka location. He's back with us again this year. And Brent, man, so glad to have Phoenix Physical Therapy back with Longshore McKnight during this football season.
I'm glad to be a part of the process, man. It's always a pleasure to talk to y'all about some sports injuries and things that are coming into our clinics. But it's that time of year, like you said, Barry. It's football. So here, let's go.
Yep.
So
Phoenix Physical Therapy locations throughout Central Alabama, locations throughout the country for people like John and me who are long gone from our high school and college careers and everything to the high school players as well. You had, I guess, week 1 yesterday with a lot of people from Phoenix Physical Therapy deployed throughout a lot of the high schools that were hosting games. How did week 1 go, Brent?
It went well overall, just from talking to some of our sports medicine outreach, our athlete trainers, and even clinical folks around the river region. I think week 1, even week 0, I guess, really was kind of a successful week as far as, making it through uninjured. Obviously, we never want anybody to be injured, but obviously just, that's part of athletics, both with volleyball and football this time of year. Everybody's kicking off the same time, so our schedules are busy doing outreach, but I think no major issues. You always have those little 1s and 2s that kind of pop up as far as major, sort of season ending kind of things. Most of them are just more just you're getting acclimated to that, hitting somebody else other than your own teammates.
Yeah.
I know, Brent, this, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's not in your field or your scope of what Phoenix Physical Therapy is all about. But it was so good to hear that somebody in the game where the official collapsed was having a heart attack. There was somebody there that knew what to do, didn't panic, reacted, took care of business. And this official is alive today because of somebody reacting quickly and helping him out.
Yeah, we were talking about this last night. I was covering a middle school football game last night out at Hopeville High School for Redland Middle School. And I was talking to our athlete trainer out there. We were just kind of discussing it with one of our coaches. The opportunity to have, a trained, obviously this was an official. We were just talking about the need. We do all season. A lot of our athlete trainers teach CPR, teach emergency action plan, EAPs. All of our athlete trainers have an EAP that they discuss with their coaches and administrators to kind of make sure that everybody has a plan in place for those kind of things. That way, because in this case, obviously there was an athlete trainer that was covering that event. But the official was the first one on the scene, and he took the lead, which is really a blessing to have somebody who was willing to do that. Obviously he's a part-time official who works at Walmart, so he was not a medical professional at all, but he was trained and was willing to jump into that role and then allow the rest of the team around him, including medical staff. There's a cardiologist in the stands who was able to assist that as well. So the Lord had his hand on that official and had his hand on that whole situation, but having, proper planning allows for success and really more educating not only just your medical staff, but even your coaching staff in general and all involved to be able to jump in and take care of a situation that can get out of hand. And obviously this is a life or death thing. So.
Look, I didn't realize this. So you have physical therapists and some of your athletic trainers that actually teach classes in that. I think that's important, Brent. I think that's important for everybody to know the basics of CPR in case of situations like this. I didn't know all that.
Well, we not only do we discuss, those kind of things with cardiac care, but even just, lightning care, C-spine, even going over, what if you have a spinal cord issue that way, because obviously if we're providing care for an event, we're just one person. And at some events, if all of a sudden you have an EMT situation where there's an ambulance on site, but they get called away to a wreck. If there's a wreck down the street from the school, they have to go into action because they're just there kind of waiting for something to happen. And so if they get called away, you may not have other medical care available. So having a trained coaching staff that can assist you as a medical provider, it's game changing. So whether they rolling, log rolling somebody or holding C-spine or providing CPR while somebody else goes and opens the gate, you make sure that everybody has a place. That's what we do as part of an emergency action plan. That kind of goes beyond those in-game injuries. This is medical care for emergency situations that, we can't predict for.
Right.
So.
Brent Vinson from Phoenix Physical Therapy joining us here on this Wednesday. We do it throughout the entire football season, getting you educated and in the know about injuries and how to get them rehabbed and back in the game. I'm curious, Brent, leading up to week 1. I mean, obviously these kids hadn't played a football game since last winter. So getting ready for the next year, are you seeing more teams and more players maybe doing a better job to prepare for the upcoming season after a long off period in terms of maybe not seeing as many injuries or as many heat issues in week 1 as you have in the past?
Well, I think, now with the introduction of sort of 7-on-7 and that kind of opportunity, from a conditioning standpoint, from even just with equipment now, obviously they're not hitting all summer long, but they're thudding up a little bit. They're not taking to the ground. A lot of coaches are understanding, hey, if any kind of tackling issue, is going to create a possible injury. So they're doing a lot of just contact, not hitting, no tackling, but just, so guys are used to getting, hit on some all season long, particularly your skilled guys. Your linemen are linemen. They're going to bang off. They're kind of used to it. But, your skilled guys that are used to kind of, hitting the ground, bouncing up, taking a little bit of contact, those things are happening all summer long. So that's why we usually, just because you're hitting somebody else, not your teammate. So they hit a little harder than your teammate does because coach has gotten on them, hey, no contact at the ground. But also that first time you get taken to the ground, it's a little more of your body's reacting to that. So you see, knee contusions, thigh contusions, rib contusions. I saw a rib contusion a few minutes ago. A guy got hit in the rib yesterday. He was running the ball. And so this morning he woke up feeling it. And those are things that we can get in and address, rule out anything major like fracture, and then start rehabbing this thing. That way that kid can be ready to go Friday night or definitely next week if he's a middle school athlete. So those are things that you don't think about from a rehabilitation standpoint. It's not always – it's usually just, there's a contusional issue that happens just from hitting somebody else.
You've mentioned this a couple of times. Redlands Middle School, you were out there, I guess, last night for a game there, and you're talking about middle school students here. John and I are thinking what a full plate you and the staff out there in Wetumpka and all over at Phoenix Physical Therapy have with high school events. Give us a perspective on all of the different things that you have to cover remotely. I didn't even think about middle schools, junior high, all of that type of thing. You have a responsibility to those as well, Brent.
Well, as part of our sort of commitment to providing a high level of care across the river region, that's something that we love. Sports medicine, something that we've done for 25 years plus. And, we love to sort of building those relationships with coaches, with administrators, with parents, not only at the high school level, but at the middle school level as well, because, at that level, they're starting to compete and they're competing at a high level, even when they're 7th, 8th grade. And so, now it's, used to be, it was junior high only. Now they have middle school kind of becomes a blend of junior high, like 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And so all those teams have their own teams. And so, now with football, you have, varsity, JV, 9th grade, a 7th, 8th grade team, and a middle school team. And we try to provide a high level of care for all those squads, not just the varsity, because even though they're younger athletes, they're still student athletes. And so we value them as people, and they have injuries too. So we cover their events, that's how it is with volleyball too. You have varsity, JV, middle school volleyball. And just when you think you don't have an injury, you have an injury. We had a little middle school guy broke his arm at a jamboree on Saturday. And we had an athletic trainer that was providing care and was able to, assess it, get him in a seat position, had x-rays, probably in a cast, if not surgery, on Monday. So those are things that we try to do even at that younger level. And that's part of our commitment to providing the highest level of care we can within not only the river region, but in our individual communities as well. So,
Brent, do you see different injuries early in the season, whether it's volleyball or football, compared to later in the season? Or are they about the same?
Well, usually those things we see later, they're kind of the same. Contact's contact. Wear and tear is not really. You're not grinding early on in the season, so you don't have those little more conditional injuries you see just from repetitive kind of things, tendinitises and things. But these athletes are training, working out all summer long, and even a lot of them play other sports, so they're kind of blending into their season. So, you still have those ACL tears right now. You could have one week 1, week 2, just like you'd have in week 10. It's unfortunate when it happens early in the season. We've got a lot of folks that we're rehabilitating now who had surgery in the off season, and now we're trying to get them ready for maybe a week 3, week 4 return. And so the timetable shifts a little bit. But as far as, like you said, John, you're not seeing anything different really. It's more just athletic related injuries that we want to address quickly, educate quickly, recover quickly, and get these athletes back competing at the level they can, at the highest level they can, as quick as they can.
also spending time, the vast majority of their time, treating people at the Wetumpka office as well, and all over. And again, people like me and John, not just the young kids. Our buddy Mark says, how often do players get Achilles tendonitis, and what's your recommendation for remedy? The Achilles. I've known people that have gotten Achilles injuries, and it is absolutely debilitating for a long time.
Yeah, honestly, we've noticed, not necessarily you hear about the big tears, right? Your big Achilles ruptures, major surgery. We've had a run of them over the last probably year or two that have become more high profile, but a lot of it just has to do with foot and Achilles, lower leg injuries. That vague term you hear about now is like a lower body injury. It's kind of a generic. Those happen now with playing surfaces changing to turf. There's a lot of controversy on that. Obviously, the verdict's still out whether or not that's going to be a great long-term thing. But I think, because most athletes, if they're training, like they're a baseball player and they play on grass or whatever all summer long, and then they go to football and they're going to turf, wearing cleats, training on turf is just a little different surface. And sometimes that can create different levels of strain and stress on the foot, on the Achilles, on the knee, on the hip, anything that loads weight. And so those are things that we see, like you said, early in the season, John, that we can see kind of pop up, that it's more of a tendonitis, inflammation kind of thing. And just from changing surfaces, and also just, body mechanics, adding extra load to the body, but a lot of it has to do with what they're running on. So either way, we treat them, and those are things even in non-athletic events, like, people that play pickleball or people that are just walking for exercise at home. Those are things that we can address. And that's the biggest thing we see clinically, is looking at the whole patient and making sure that, maybe it's a hip issue that's undiagnosed that's creating an ankle issue because of biomechanics, because of weakness or stiffness or tightness somewhere else. And that's kind of the fun part of our job as a physical therapist, is evaluating those things that the patient doesn't even look for, that they don't recognize. Sometimes those things make a difference. And that's part of that detective work we get to do every day in clinic, to kind of figure out why they're having these problems, not just treating it, but figuring out why and then getting it better. That way, ultimately, they're better long-term and they can get back to their stuff.
Well, it's all about making sure you go through the proper physical therapy, the time it takes to get rehabilitated and get ready to go. And I'm sure, Brent, probably one of the, I don't want to say difficult, but one of the things that I'm sure you have to address is players coming in, hey, I got to be in the game this Friday. Whoa, hit the brakes there, buddy. We got a little work to do here.
It takes what it takes.
Explaining to these athletes, you're not going to be back this Friday. I'm sure that probably doesn't go over real well at first, but they understand they got to be 100% for you let them back out there.
Yeah, and that's the challenge. This time of year, honestly, whether it be a volleyball player trying to get back, football player in the spring, softball players, when they play Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So trying to get these athletes back promptly, but effectively and efficiently, but also safely. A lot of it has to do with just relationships. We're communicating. They know that my heart, I'm a yes person. I love telling people yes. So if you come to me with hey, can I play X date? I'm going to say yes. Let's make it happen. Now, it may not happen, but I'm going to give you all I got to get it there. And so, the commitment that we give clinically, we want to equal that same level of commitment that our athlete gives to get back as well. So coaches know that. Parents know that. We want to make sure we communicate, hey, we got to get now. If you have, an injury on a Wednesday, you may not play Friday, but you're definitely going to try to play the next Friday. So you may miss one game. But if coaches know, parents know, kids know, that way everybody has a goal to work for. And none of that just comes with just communication and making sure that we have a plan in place to get better. And that's the biggest thing about having a sports medicine team, because that communication goes from the clinic to the kid to the parent. And because nobody's a bigger advocate for a player than me. And so I'm going to fight everything I can to get this kid back. And so the coaches know that. And so there's less stress on the player to have to feel that pressure to get back, because, hey, like you said, Barry, it takes what it takes. And, if you could be a high level NFL guy or a collegiate level or a middle school kid, the body's going to heal as fast as the body heals. Our job is to facilitate that and make sure that kid can return safely.
already in this little visit from Brent Vincent, Phoenix Physical Therapy in Wetumpka. He's mentioned commitment over and over again. That's important to him. That's important to everybody. PhoenixPhysicalTherapy.com is a good starting point if you want to find out more. Brent is over, again, in the office in Wetumpka. It is right by Jack's Restaurant. I do know that, right? Jack's. I do know that. So you can check that out over there. How do people get in touch with you by phone, Brent?
Well, definitely. They can obviously anytime, whether you're in Wetumpka or not. I always tell patients, call our office. My number is 334-478-3543. Like I said, we're here right behind Jack's, right next to Lowe's here in Wetumpka on 231-277 Hunter Street. Swing by. I love to talk to people. I love to kind of educate them on what we can do and how we can help. A phone call is always welcome to call and talk to one of me or one of my staff. Any of our offices, whether you're in Greenville or Selma or Auburn or Elliott City or Montgomery, call and touch base with whoever the clinical director is there. Most of them, if not all of them, are willing to answer questions. Say, hey, how can you help? My kids had this little problem, or I've had this little problem, or my aunt and uncles had this little problem. How can we kind of get this thing addressed and taken care of? And that's our biggest goal. Like we said, we're committed, but also we want to be a resource for our communities to outreach to those people and be that voice of our world. And our world is rehabilitative medicine and hopefully preventative, but also reactive. And we want to react to those problems that happen, on a Friday night or a Monday night, or even on the weekend when you're, walking in the woods. Dove season's coming up.
Yeah.
Somebody step in a hole, and so when you're looking up at those birds, you may trip over a corn stalk on the ground. So those are things that happen. So if we can address those things and educate our people, then that's what we do. That's what we're called to do. We're blessed to do, and we have a great communities that we work in. And so this is the time of year when sports kind of takes a center stage, but we're working all the time to take care of our people.
Well, Brent, we appreciate you working with us as well. We always enjoy our weekly visit from you or Robert or anybody else there at the Phoenix Physical Therapy staff. Looking forward to next week. Thank you so much, and have a great week.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's always a pleasure, and we'll get after it. Have fun.
There you go. Thank you very much. Brett Vincent, Phoenix Physical Therapy. Again, PhoenixPhysicalTherapy.com. Locations throughout Montgomery and Central Alabama. When we come back, it's our Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel. It's coming up with Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry is an Alabama-based, family-owned and operated business that specializes in dry cleaning and laundry, serving the river region since 1941. There are 12 convenient locations across the river region. Find one close to you or call 481-1911 for free pickup and delivery. For 83 years, Central Alabama has trusted Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry. You should too.
Play to win big at Victoryland Casino, where the hottest, most exciting games are waiting for you. Big bonuses, giant jackpots, and rewards keep our guests coming back for more. Visit our Players Club today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, off I-85 exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
It is time to spin that Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel. I see it's up and loaded, ready to go.
Here we go.
Woo! Look at all those topics. Spin away, Gurn.
All brought to you by Victoryland 777 Casino, exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner too.
Sad competition. Auburn Vandy? Let's see what we got here.
Oh, yeah. We mentioned it was cut down day in the NFL. And as it turns out, the least worst quarterback for the New Orleans Saints is Spencer Rattler. Yep. Spencer Rattler, John, beats out Tyler Shuck for the starting quarterback
that
job.
guy wasn't worth a shuck.
Yeah. Second, 3-year veteran Jake Hayner is cut yesterday. So it's Rattler and then Shuck.
Don't you have 3 quarterbacks on a roster?
Yeah. Oh, who was the other one? Heck, I don't know.
I
Nobody
guess
cares.
Taysom Hill's the third-team quarterback, huh?
Yeah. Third-team Saints quarterback. You talking about hanging on by your fingernails in the NFL? Yeah. Rattler, played a little bit last year. He started at Oklahoma.
Did he?
And then went to South Carolina. First-year head coach Kellen Moore was in a tough spot. They didn't expect Derek Carr to retire.
Derek Carr looked at that roster and said, "I'm out."
This offensive line. You kidding me?
Yeah.
This offensive line, I'm gone.
It is the Arch March or the March for
the
Arch?
March for Arch.
Yeah. Because this has got 2 and 15 written all over it.
The Saints there ain't going to be any more Mannings that are ever going to play for the Saints.
Probably not.
They have learned their lesson. Archie says, "Grandson, I had got the absolute crap kicked out of me for 11 years in New Orleans. You ain't going there."
Yeah. I think the LSU quarterback, they got their eye on him.
I like him. I like him a lot.
How that plays.
Nussmeier. Yep. All right. So there's one.
All right. Good one there, Gurn. Well, sad competition. You ain't kidding. All right. Let's spin.
We got to hurry up a little
we do. No kidding. Wow. 5 to go. Let's see if we can get them in. I think we can. Victoryland 777, exit 22 off I-85 and shorter. Alabama coming home.
Is this Mama Calls or something?
Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, Amari Cooper. I never can figure out why he was not, I thought he was always fantastic. And he's had a good career.
Yeah.
Goes back to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Where it all began for.
Just win,
Amari.
baby.
Yeah.
It seems like wide receivers do kind of, move around a lot.
Yeah, if you look, there's several of them. Like the guy I liked for the Jaguars, Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
He's no longer with the Jaguars anymore. He's with the Texans. So, yeah, Amari has played for Buffalo last year. He played for Cleveland. Didn't go great in Cleveland, never does go great in Cleveland. And then, of course, began with the Oakland Raiders. He actually played for a little while. Am I right? 3 years with the Cowboys. It was the Oakland Raiders, then the Cowboys for 3 years, Browns for a couple, then the Bills, and now he's back with the Raiders, but this time in Las Vegas. I thought he was really good.
I do too. I hope he has a good year with them. Yeah. All right, let's see what else we got, Gurr. Let's spin away on the Victoryland 777 topic. Well, you can be a winner too. Open 24/7, 365. Must be 21 years of age to enter.
All right. Ooh, happy retirement. Oh boy.
Let's see. Who's leaving? Who's hanging them up?
Is it Ralphie?
Ralphie's getting retired? What?
Ralphie 6?
No way.
Oh, hangs up her halter to spend more time with the ladies.
I guess so. Why not?
I'm telling you, if I believed in reincarnation, I want to come back as Uga. I want to come back as Bevo. I want to come back as Mike the Tiger. I want to come back as Ralphie. You get to go to all the games for free. People get in your way and everything, can't see. You get to go to all the games when you're free, and then when it's over with, then you get retired to a farm. People will come see you. You know
what else, Barry? I bet Ralphie's got a parking pass. I bet they pulled him right up next to the stadium. Ain't no parking 3 miles away.
He ain't coming from the third deck at Ten Whore, I'm telling you.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, Ralphie, good job. All right.
Now you got Ralphie 7 coming up.
Ralphie
Okay.
7. Ralphie 7. Okay.
What do they call him, Ralphie?
How many of those Eagles they had over there at Auburn?
Like 14 or something like that. Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
Let's see if we can get them in. I believe we can.
We're in good shape. Good shape. I like it now.
Let's see. Ooh, sticky
fingers. Jameis Winston.
Didn't the Rolling Stones have an album with that?
They did.
Yeah,
yes, they did. Sticky Fingers.
Let's see what we got.
Jim Leavitt. Former South Florida coach. A lot of people always used to have him, like when Alabama had an opening, hey, let's hire Jim Leavitt. Or Auburn, hey, let's hire Jim Leavitt. Evidently, he got an ex-girlfriend, had an argument. He's 68. He was in St. Petersburg.
Come on, Jim.
Felony grand theft. Oh, he grabbed the woman's arm as she attempted to walk away from him. He's also accused of taking the woman's Louis Vuitton purse, clutch, and wallet, valued at $5,000 for a purse and a wallet.
Was that a fake Louis Vuitton or a real one? I mean, come on. Really?
$5,000. Here's the thing. He was the head coach at South Florida, their most successful coach that they've had. It was 2 months ago that they was announced that he is going to be inducted into the University of South Florida Athletic Hall of Fame. Yikes. Are there enough people to populate the University of South Florida Athletic Hall of Fame?
Eesh.
I asked John earlier if he can tell me one factoid about East Carolina. What about something for the University of South Florida? A good friend of mine was their interim basketball coach last year.
Are they in Tampa or St. Pete?
They're in Tampa.
Tampa, okay.
There you go. That counts. Ladies and gentlemen, John Longshore.
Yes. All
he
right.
got it. It was a question, but I'll take it as a.
Yeah,
all right, here we go. All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. Spin them away. Got the Kansas colors working again. Blue and red is what's left on the Victoryland Topic Wheel. Spin away.
Ramp up.
Let's see what we got here on the wheel. Chris with bonus wheel time here today.
John and I haven't seen these. I have no idea what in the world Big Tong is all about. Somebody gave me a hard time because John said he was in a small pickle. But
ooh, looks like wait a minute.
Oh, this is the pitcher. Yeah, I read about this.
Whiff, and whiff.
Yeah, he's a top prospect. His name is Jonah Tong. And he has been ripping up minor league baseball. He's got a funky delivery. He's not all that super big. He's like 6'1". But yeah.
I'm glad I didn't have to
Jonah
face him
Tong
during the celebrity Can You Hit It Against a Minor League Pitcher night.
Yep.
That would have been tough. All right, one more to go.
Let's get it here. We go.
Got to spin it to make it official here on the Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel. Presented by Victoryland. Or was that it? Was that the last one? Oh, here we go. Here's the last one.
Okay, last one coming up.
Here it is. Just the suspense is killing me to see what it is. Ramp up.
Are we talking about Power 4 non-conference scheduling now?
Evil Knievel's not with us anymore, is he? No? Okay, what we got?
Micah Parsons. Brian Schottenheimer is a new Dallas coach. Marty's son played football at the University of Florida. To have any chance to be ready to go, Micah needs to start practicing soon. Did he sign? I don't think he signed.
I don't think he signed either. Yeah, no kid. We'd have heard that.
Yeah.
Remember to let us know.
He faces discipline for conduct detrimental to the team if he continues to fail to practice. Yeah, that's going to get him back real quick. Why don't you start fining him over there? They need to sign. We mentioned with CJ that a lot of times, the final cut down's about money. Dallas is in a spot because they want to keep a roster spot open for him, but he ain't practicing. So they're having to cut somebody that they really don't want to cut just to keep a roster spot open for Micah Parsons if and when they ever get him signed. So, yeah.
Curtis, do you go to church with me?
John, I hope you're one of those people at church that just moves their lips during the singing.
Yeah, I am. I'll admit it. I'm not a singer. I like to hear other people sing.
Oh, I like to sing. My wife is a beautiful singer.
But I don't
know the words a lot. And, I played second chair trumpet in the middle school band, but I haven't since I've forgotten how to read music. Not very musically inclined, but I love to sing. And sometimes you get the word wrong, and you're thinking everybody's looking at you,
Curtis, I do open the hymnal up so it looks like I'm,
Yeah.
And when the priest walks by, I do kind of move my lips a little bit because I got busted one time. He mentioned to me after church, not singing, huh? Went, ooh, wow, he saw me. Yeah, ouch. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to keep the congregation, Father. Yeah, we want to. Yeah, we don't want to chase anybody out. So no, I haven't been singing. Yeah. All right. Tomorrow, on the show, it will be game day somewhere for college football.
You are correct about that.
Cannot wait. We'll preview Auburn definitely heading out tomorrow for their first game.
From the Montgomery Regional Airport.
Yep. Jason Caldwell will preview all of that for us from auburnundercover.com. Also, Rodney Orr, TigerInsider.com, a part of the program as well. Maybe, Preston, maybe Josh Harris on Moneyline Magician.
Yeah, get ready, Theodis. He's in.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up as well. Thanks today for CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, Brent Vinson, our friend from Phoenix Physical Therapy in Wetumpka, and for our producer, Gurn Jr., John Longshore, Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by